FrostPunk 2 is here, and it is surprisingly not well known. FrostPunk 1 was not really on the radar for a lot of people, which is shocking for me because in the past few years I've been really getting into the indie scene because AAA has just been garbage after garbage for quite a few developers and companies. Not really interesting. But this one kind of shone a light on the indie scene a bit more, and I'm really happy that it's starting to do well. Really well, actually, if I remember. They've made posts about how many sales and copies they've had, but more to the point, it's a game about morality. And just like the first one, there is spoilers, of course. Two sides to every tale. There's the pilgrims and then there's the stalwarts. And in the first game there was a faith and then an order system, which, you know, putting faith in like a higher entity that was there guiding them, or order where we've got to keep things in routine and check. It's similar here, but it's kind of gone away from like the spiritual kind of side, and it's like, okay, these are the pilgrims. They want to explore and adapt to the world around them, the frozen wasteland. And then the stalwarts is the same. It's just order. We want this to be in order. We do this. We keep this in check. So that hasn't changed too much. They've expanded on the world itself and your home. So there's like a base building system now. You got to have extractions, you got to have food storages and stocks for every storage system, and you can build things, craft things. There's a lot more to research, but there is a council system, but I feel in this game it's more flawed. It is cool that there's a voting system. They brought that to life. That's really cool. There's quality, the morality, you know, love that. When it comes to research, there is so much to research that halfway through chapter 2 I had done every single council law, and I was just like, well, what do I do now? And I didn't really unlock more until I had the next availability thing to research, which late game was very quick. But other than that, it was kind of like a thing of the waiting game. You know what I mean? But yes, there are multiple bases that you control over time. And when you get your second one, that's kind of like, nothing. That's kind of like lame, I must admit. Like, you build stuff in it, you clear it out, and have people there to a very minimalism level. And I was like, wow, is this all they're going to do, just a second base? But then they slap you with a third one, and then there's a morality system of like, do you choose pilgrims, do you choose stalwart? And it's like, okay, I'm kind of feeling like there's only two paths here, oh no. And then you get into chapter 4 doing that, and once you've got that like second city sorted out, you kind of prepare and explore the world a bit more, then get ready for a third one, which it took me a while to actually find the Winterhold. It was kind of awkward because there was a land next to me, well, kind of near me, that I could explore, but it had no potential research, like gain or anything like that. There was no materials or anything apparently there. So I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'll do that last. So I kind of explored 80% of the world in chapter 3. And once I'd done that, I was like, okay, now I'll finally check this out, and lo and behold, there it was. And at that point, again, done all the council. I had over half of the total research done. I'd even, with the council, I'd even done the rules one. So, I mean, basically part of the very end game already done. If you know, you know. Gotten into chapter 4. After doing that, because I could just instantly go to Winterhold because I had everything ready. I was more than ready. I was playing on Officer, which was recommended when you played the first one, but I'm going to be straight with you here. It was way too easy. It's at the start, you're kind of like stressed, like, oh, I've got to learn this, got to do this, which is fine. But chapter 3, I had it down packed. That was very easy. So when I was introduced to Winterhold Chapter 4, sorting all that out, a little bit of the stress came back because it was a third city and you had to deal with the biohazards and the chemicals and stuff, which was like, Chapter 3, they kind of force drama when you're, the mechanics of the side that you didn't choose is now angry with you that you're not choosing them and they're neglected, yada yada yada, doesn't matter what you do, it's automatically triggered. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm learning how to deal with that. And in Chapter 4, they're real outraged when they're in the new city. The parts of them that are there, they kind of sabotage and stuff like that. And they're constantly mad, even if they're not mad fully in Chapter 3. They're just maxed out hate you. So it's like, oh, great, awesome. So you deal with that. I built up Winterhold reasonably quickly, and once you do that and it's safe and you're starting to build stuff up a bit, increase the population, which was extremely easy because all I did was transfer people over from New London and then it was almost instantly done. I think the whole game maybe took me it felt very short, but when I was playing it I was doing it for a long time, so I almost 100%ed the whole world and the research and everything. So I think that took me maybe 7 hours, 8 hours, like a normal game would, which is fine, lengthwise. Once I'd got into Chapter 5, when all the population was done, it introduces the end game. So, short chapter, Chapter 4, Chapter 5, very short chapter, because then it introduces, the end game, where it's like, these guys that you're not sided with, they really are causing trouble. Everyone's at peak's end, like button heads. There's riots all over the place and yada yada yada. Which it was all right. I mean, if you're gonna play it, maybe not officer. If you're experienced with stuff like this, do the one above or the hardest one, because that's probably gonna actually give you a challenge. I think there's 1 or 2 chapters where there's no time limit, so you can do the whole world. You can take all the resources out of every place, extractor, whatever you want to call it, and then just be ready for the next chapter tenfold. So there are ways to cheese the game, and I wasn't even trying to, so that's hilarious. But yeah, Chapter 5 is dealing with a lot of complaining, and the end of the complaining. It's like everyone's butting heads. You can throw these people out, or with guards if they're too unhappy about moving to another town. So I guess build them another town. Maybe it was going to be like Winterhold, you'd give them that, or something else. I can only really imagine it was Winterhold because I'd pretty much explored the whole world and there was nothing else. There was a place that said it was too barren to have any use, so maybe you'd build that up, which I could easily see happening, but just do it to the basic level, which wouldn't be that hard. It would maybe take 10 minutes. I think either way, for me, it would have taken at most 10 minutes to finish Chapter 5. So yeah, build the city up, the new one, and send them there, or just kick them out, throw them out, be an arsehole. And then there was another one where you raise everyone's relationship up because it's triggered. Not everyone was pissed off at me in Chapter 4. The Frostlanders and the New Londoners, which don't have that kind of faction choice system, they just have the basic relationship system, they were just instantly negative, almost hating me, and I was like, what the heck? Okay, you were neutral at minimum the whole time and now you just hate me? Okay, cool, awesome. So I had to, if I chose that one, I'd have to raise everyone's thing to neutral, or just above that at minimum, and then everyone would get along. Yeah, utopia. But I'm not really about that. The whole point of the game is learning not everyone can get along, which is, even in that scenario, would be true, but everyone would try to smile and bear with it. But yeah, the other option was literally just no, I'm in charge, I choose the laws, you all trust me no matter what. Kind of dictator level. Just build an enclave, throw the stalwarts in there, that for me, whatever one that hates you, and just keep them there. They're in the supervised part of the city where they're at watch, kind of like a quote-unquote open prison system or something like that, where you throw them in there for their own safety, they don't cause trouble, and no one will cause trouble for them. And then it's like, yep, this is your life now. I'm the captain, you trust me. I'm not the steward anymore. I own the city, which of course I had to go for that, because once I saw all it was just build an enclave and then agree with the last rules thing in the research, in the laws, and then I was just done. Took me like 2 minutes. And yeah, that was just it, easy peasy. Build an enclave, put a watchtower on it, and then they're all thrown in there once the law is passed, which you can do in basically an instant if it's not on cooldown. But yeah, there are a lot of things I love about the game. I was just so inspired to just go on a rant as soon as I could. As soon as I felt the slight urge to do it, I just did it. There are not enough games that touch into morality and like morals in general. It felt like there wasn't too many choices in the game, which was a bit unfortunate. Like research, there was plenty of, but it's like you don't have the time to do everything. Like even I took my time for damn sure when I was playing the game, and even then I had like maybe 80% of it done. Definitely not enough laws, and the cooldown was fine for all the stuff. Maybe research just took too long in general. In game it was fine with research, but maybe that could be like the baseline, because it just takes so long to get everything done. There is replayability, but only to the extent of there are two sides. You do one playthrough, then do the other playthrough, and then there's 3 different endings, so you just try whichever one like suits you, and then you can just have a save pre that and then just do that. And it didn't matter if it was stalwarts or pilgrims, it would be very similar. Just, do that and then replace the names and the stats with pilgrims or stalwarts, and then yeah, easy peasy. I'm glad Frostpunk 2 is finally getting some good love and appreciation. There are more and more people playing it as time goes on. Indie games really need to get ahead of the crap that's just spewed out all over the marketplace nowadays. And if you can't afford stuff like that, just play before you pay. I always endorse that. But yeah, that's it from me. I can never stop endorsing this game. I'm probably going to be done with it for a bit, at least, before I play back again. And yeah, hopefully more games, and there will be more to this game per se, just like the first one with its DLC, which I'm so glad they took the feedback from into this game. It's so good. I've got more stuff in the works. I'm just kind of sorting through the urge and the ADHD hyperfocus of what I'm enjoying. Space Marine 2 was really good, of a thing to get me kind of hyped up again, and then I'm branching into this, and probably gonna touch Ghost of Tsushima now that the PC port's been released, and I've just been thrashing that out. So look forward to that, guys.